to another midday yoga break. So the class that I put together today is designed for people who might spend a lot of time sitting at a desk. Typically this means that the shoulders and chest get very tight, maybe rounded. The hip flexors are tight from being in that seated position. So we're really going to work on hip flexors, shoulders, hamstrings as well, like opening the hips. It's all connected. So although we'll focus on those areas, we'll really get into a little bit of everything. And this isn't just for desk workers. You know, this practice can be beneficial for most people in our modern society where we do spend a lot of time sitting or at our phones or at a computer. So I hope that you enjoy this practice, and let me know in the comments how it made you feel. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start today in a child's pose. So I invite you to make your way down to your mat if you're not there already. Big toes come to touch. And then you can either keep the knees together for a bit more of a compact and rounded child pose, or bringing the knees out wide if you're looking for a little bit more opening in the hips and the inner thighs. And I just find that this variation allows me to be more expansive and soften more into the shoulders and chest. So finding a variation that feels good for you, and then you can allow your arms, shoulders, and forehead to fall towards the mat. Allowing the hips to feel heavy, allowing the shoulders to soften. Starting to notice your breath. Without changing anything, notice the quality of the inhales and the exhales. Starting to invite deeper inhales all the way into the low belly, and longer exhales, lengthening the exhale, drawing belly to spine. Maybe starting to make the inhales to the count of 4 and exhales to the count of 4. So evening the inhales and exhales. A couple more rounds of breath, noticing where the breath moves in your body with these full inhales and long exhales. Maybe feeling the low back expand, maybe feeling the space between the shoulder blades lift. And on the exhales, maybe feeling your shoulders and hips soften a little more. Last round of breath here. Deep inhale, long exhale. Beautiful. On your next inhale, we'll start to lift the hips up and shift the chest forward into a Sphinx pose. Lift the chest. Sorry, I should say Cobra. We'll get to Sphinx soon. Exhale. Press the hands into the earth. Push the hips back towards the heels. Inhale. Slither yourself forward between the hands. Lift the chest. Draw the shoulder blades together down the back. Exhale. Press the earth away. Hips draw back. Child's pose. 2 more like this, moving with your breath. Keeping the chest low as you draw yourself forward and up. Expand. Exhale, press it back. Soften. 2 more with your breath. Linking breath to movement. Beautiful. On your next inhale, make your way back forward towards the top of your mat, finding our Sphinx pose. So we'll plant the elbows under the shoulders. Forearms come parallel to one another, palms face down. Press the tops of the feet down into the earth. Press the pubic bone down. Elbows press down and draw them back towards your hips, as if you're dragging your elbows back towards the back of the mat. Notice how this draws the chest forward and up. Press the elbows into the earth. Couple rounds of breath here. Inhaling up the front of the body, finding length and expansion. Exhaling, imagining the breath drawing down the spine, softening the low back. One more inhale. Beautiful. Then on your exhale, keep the elbows and knees on the ground as you lift the hips up. Draw the pubic bone up towards the chest. So pubic bone up towards the chest. Squeezing the core. Imagine you're zipping your core up towards your upper half of your body, up the body. Beautiful. One more inhale here. Exhale, lower back down. We're going to plant the hands under the shoulders and press up so that your hips are over your knees. Moving into our puppy pose, walk the hands forward, fingers are spread, palms press into the earth as you allow the chest to drop towards the earth. Maybe the forehead touches the mat. Or if the mat is feeling a bit far away for you, option to place a block under the forehead. Or maybe you're able to get the forehead and the chest onto the mat, allowing the chest to soften as you lift the hips up and back. On your next inhale, press into the hands to lift up. Bring the palms back under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Finding our tabletop here. We'll move through a few cat-cows. So with your inhale, drop the belly. Chest lifts, tailbone lifts. Gaze forward and maybe up. Exhale, curl the spine, pressing the earth away with the hands, spreading through the shoulder blades. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat, rounding the spine. 3 more with your breath. Really feeling into your body as you move here. Not worrying about what it looks like, but just focusing on how it feels. Can you move in a way that feels good for you? All right, last one. And we'll meet back in our tabletop with a neutral spine. So spine is long. Draw the belly up towards the spine, engaging the core. Tuck the toes. And lift the knees a few inches off the mat. We'll be here for a couple rounds of breath. Just a little bit of core work today, you guys. Firing up the core. We'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Lift the hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. You may need to adjust your feet. So feet are about hips width apart. Hands are about shoulder width apart or wider. Spreading through the fingers, pressing into every single knuckle and gripping them out with the ends of the fingertips. Arms are long and strong, pressing the earth away with the hands as you lift the hips up and back, finding that length through the spine. And as I always say, it's okay to have a bend in the knees here. We really want to focus on lengthening the spine as we get into our downward dog today. And we'll worry about the hamstrings later. One more inhale here. Exhale, bend into the knees. Look between the hands. Step your way up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to shins or thighs. Lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Hinge at the hips. Inhale, press into the feet to rise all the way up. Arms sweep overhead, lengthening through both sides of the body, reaching to the sky. Exhale, arms to the sides. We'll keep moving here. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactus the arms, pulling the elbows back and down as you lift up through the chest. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, cactus, broaden across the chest. 3 more like this with your breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, cactus the arms. You've completed 3 rounds. We'll move through our sun salutation A. So with your inhale, sweep the arms to the sky, palms face up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Hinge at the hips, folding forward, lead with the chest. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, and make your way down to the mat. Option to drop the knees on the way. Inhale, cobra, press the tops of the feet and hands into the earth, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes, find downward dog. Option to move through tabletop to get there. Take an inhale here. Exhale, bend into the right knee, step the right foot up between the hands. Keeping your high lunge here, inhale, lift up. Beautiful. So for this, we're gonna move through a lunge to a hamstring stretch here. So option to use blocks or any other prop that might bring the floor up closer to you on either side of that front foot. So with your inhale, arms sweep up to the sky. Press up the back heel, belly to spine. Exhale, plant the hands, straighten into the front leg, forward fold, bringing belly to thigh. Inhale as you bend into the front knee, find that lunge again. Arms sweep up. Exhale, plant the hands, straighten the front leg, belly to thigh, feeling a bit of a stretch into that hamstring. 2 more, moving with your breath. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, plant and straighten. Last one at your own pace. We'll meet inner high lunge, holding here, cactus the arms and hold. Press out the back heel. Draw the elbows back and down, lift the chest. Beautiful, releasing this, plant the hands, straighten the front leg. We'll hold our hamstring stretch now. I'll just move the block so you can see. Press down into the mat, the root of the big toe of the front foot. Really press down and draw the right hip up and back. And use the back leg to push forward. So lift that heel up away from the earth. Belly to thigh. Wonderful. Bending back into that front knee, plant the hands. Make your way to your downward facing dog. Option to take a vinyasa here if it's in your practice. We'll meet in downward facing dog, taking a nice deep inhale here. Exhale, blend into the left knee, plant the left foot between the hands. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Prepping your blocks if you need them. From your inhale, exhale, straighten the front leg. Plant the hands on either side of the front foot, belly to thigh. Inhale, bend into the front knee. Find your lunge, arms sweep up. Beautiful. 2 more like this at your own pace. You know the drill now. And we'll meet in our high lunge. Cactus the arms, pull the elbows back and down, lift through the chest. One more inhale here. Exhale, fold forward, straighten the front leg, finding that hamstring stretch on the left side. I'm just taking a moment to check in with the head and neck and shoulders. Can you find a place of ease? Allow them to soften. The legs are strong, but we don't need the neck, the head, the shoulders to be doing any work here. Beautiful. Straightening into bending into the front knee, plant the hands, make your way back to your downward facing dog. Taking a few rounds of breath here, just noticing how your body's feeling. Noticing any fire starting in the body, any heat rising, maybe a tingling in the hamstrings or the hip flexors. Noticing any space opening. Also anywhere where tension might remain or new tension has formed. One more inhale. Exhale, bend into the knees, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms to sky. Exhale, release the arms to either side. Beautiful. Sweep the arms up. On the inhale, release the right hand to the right side, right thigh, and bend to the right. Left fingertips reach up and away. Finding a stretch through the left side of the body. On your next inhale, right arm sweeps up to sky. Drop the left arm down, left thigh, palm to thigh. Reach the right fingertips up and over. Once again, softening the neck, softening the jaw. Inhale, left arm sweeps up to meet right. Exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. Let's move through our sun salutation B. Take an inhale here. Exhale, bend into the knees. Touch the earth with the fingertips. Inhale, arms sweep up to chair. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen the spine, heart shines forward. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back and down to the earth, slowly lowering. Inhale, cobra, or option to take upward facing dog by pressing the hands into the earth, lifting the hips up. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to step the left foot onto a 45-degree angle and step the right foot up between the hands. Setting up for warrior one. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Landing in your warrior one here. We'll spend a couple rounds of breath in our warrior one. So really pressing into the outer edge of that back foot as you drive the right knee forward. Reaching up through the arms, lift the chest and rib cage up away from the hips. So hips are sinking, rib cage is lifting. Beautiful. When you're ready, release the arms to either side of the body. Palms face forward, arms are engaged. We're going to start to make our way up into our warrior three. So starting to lift up off the back foot, finding balance on the front leg, on the front foot. Lift the back leg up as much as you can. Maybe that's just a foot or an inch, or maybe you lift it up parallel to the mat. Toes point straight down, so we're keeping the hips level. Arms are by the sides, palms press down. Woo. One more inhale. Exhale, release the back foot, plant the hands on either side of the front foot. Make your way to your downward facing dog. We'll move to the other side, stepping the right foot onto a 45-degree angle. Step the left foot between the hands. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Couple rounds of breath here. When you're ready, bringing the arms to either side of your body, palms face forward. And starting to shift the weight into the front foot, picking the back leg up as much as you can today. Once it's parallel to the earth, hold. Those right toes face towards the ground. Press out the back heel. Finding length from the heel all the way out the crown of the head. One more inhale. Exhale, release the back foot. Plant the hands on either side of the front foot. Make your way to your downward facing dog. We'll spend a couple rounds of breath here. There's always the option to take a child's pose if you're looking for a more restful position. And once again, taking an opportunity to check in with yourself. How do you feel? One more inhale. Exhale, bend into the knees. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Sink the hips back and down. Inhale, reach the arms up, chair pose. Exhale, straighten the legs, release the arms to the side. Beautiful, guys. We're gonna make our way down to the ground now. So bringing the feet about max width apart. Feet are on about a 45-degree angle. Inhale, hands come to prayer heart center. Exhale, sink into the, bend the knees, sink into the hips, finding your variation of squat. So maybe your hips are up pretty high. If they're tight today, you might consider placing a block under the hips and finding this variation. That works beautifully. Or maybe you let the hips sink a little lower, but elbows are inside knees and they're pressing into one another. The chest is lifting up towards the thumbs. Beautiful. And then wherever you're at, we're gonna place the left fingertips on the earth, just in front of you, and inhale, reach the right arm up to the sky, finding a beautiful twist. And release the right hand down to the mat, to the earth. Plant the right fingertips. Inhale, lift the left arm up to the sky. One more inhale. Exhale, release the hands. Make your way to sit on your mat. Maybe you just sit back like this, or getting there in whatever way feels comfortable for you. We're gonna find our butterfly pose. So bringing the bottoms of the feet to touch. Hands can hold onto the ankles here, or maybe they grasp the feet. Opening the feet up like a book. Sitting up nice and tall here. Imagine your spine is lifting up to the sky. Allow the knees to fall wide. Lovely. Letting that go, using the hands to bring the knees back together. We'll straighten the legs out in front of us. And shifting your hips as much as you need to find your sits bones connected to the earth. We're going to bend into the left knee. Bring the left foot just outside the right knee. Inhale, lengthen up to the spine. Exhale, twist to the left. Left hand comes behind you, just propping up on your fingertips. And your right arm can either, what do you call this? Grasp that right knee, or maybe you hook the right elbow over the right knee. With every inhale, growing taller. And with your exhale, twisting a little deeper, belly to spine. Maybe you look over that back shoulder if it's comfortable on the neck. On your next inhale, coming back to center. We're going to keep that left ankle crossed just above the right knee. Bend into the right foot. The right knee, planting the right foot on the ground, the arms come behind you. We're going to find a glute stretch here. It's a bit of a variation on pigeon. So draw the right heel up towards the glutes as much as you feel comfortable. Keep that left ankle flexed, so the toes pull back towards the shins. And then lift the chest up as if you're trying to lift the rib cage up and over your left shin. And you can play with the positioning here to find a stretch in the left glute. You may need, if your glutes are pretty loose already, I guess that's not the right word. If they're not too tight, you might need to like bring yourself into a smaller kind of container here. And then letting the right leg straighten back out. We'll straighten the left leg to meet it, and we'll move to the other side. So let's bend into the right knee, cross the right ankle just to the outer, cross the right foot to the outer edge of the left leg. Inhale to lengthen up through the spine, growing tall. Exhale, twist to the right fingertips prop behind you, and then finding the arm variation with your left arm of your choice. when you're ready, coming back to center, let the right knee fall out, keeping the left ankle just above the right ankle just above the left knee. Bend into the left knee, plant the left foot, arms come behind you, hands planting, and finding a place where you can feel that stretch in your right glute. I find that sometimes in pigeon I can't really get a good stretch in my glutes, but this one always does it for me. I'm curious to see how it lands for you. Let me know in the comments. And when you're ready, straighten the left leg and the right comes to meet it. We're going to make our way all the way down onto our back. Finding a bridge pose. So drawing the ankles up towards, drawing the heels up towards the hips. Arms are at the sides, palms face down. On an inhale, start to tuck the tailbone, lift the hips up to the sky. Back of the arms and shoulders press down into the mat. One more inhale here. Exhale to slowly lower vertebrae by vertebrae down to the mat. Hips touching last. We'll do one more bridge. Inhale, lift the hips to the sky. Drawing the knees and the chest away from one another. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly lower. Take a second to notice how that back bend landed in your body, letting the spine settle onto the mat. We'll find one last pose today before we move into Shavasana. So we're going to do a fish pose. So if you have blocks, I invite you to grab those. If you have cushions, it can work with that as well. We're going to set our blocks up in a T shape. And I recommend starting on a lower level to begin with, and you can always adjust if it's not quite enough for you. So we're going to bring the bottom of the T up just between the shoulder blades, and then the back of the head rests on the top of the T. Straightening the legs, arms come out to your sides, allowing the shoulders to feel heavy and allowing gravity to pull them down. And maybe you're starting to feel a stretch in the chest. And if not, that is a good indicator that you might be able to raise the block onto a higher setting. We'll stay here for 5 to 10 rounds of breath, allowing gravity to do its work. When you're ready, start to come out of your fish pose. I always encourage you to take the hands behind the head and lift the head up, using your hands to guide you. You can move the blocks to the side of the mat as we make our way into our Shavasana. So legs are long, the feet are flopping, arms are at the sides. Palms spaced up. Allowing yourself to release. Allowing yourself to be supported by the earth beneath you. With each breath, with each exhale, can you find one more degree of release? Letting go of tension in the shoulders. in the neck, the jaw, the forehead, the crease between the eyes, the scalp. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as feels good for you. You can pause the video here if you're looking for a bit of a longer Shavasana. But if not, I will start to guide you out. So starting to bring some movement back into the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Maybe reaching the arms up overhead, taking a nice big stretch all the way from fingers to toes. And then when you're ready, rolling onto one side or the other, finding a fetal position. Take a breath here. And very gently pressing yourself up and making your way into a comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders soften away from ears. Taking a moment to check in with yourself and how you're feeling after this practice. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I wish you an absolutely wonderful day. Thank you.